Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode. Today is October the 29th, 2018. I'm your host, James. Alongside me, as always, his name is...
I'm Andy.
We welcome you to join us on this epic journey as we all become legend of the nerds. Happy wet afternoon, sir.
Oh my, is it ever going to... I said this actually earlier. I said, is it ever going to stop? And then I just thought to myself after, when it starts snowing.
When it starts snowing, it'll stop raining.
Oh, it's just...
And then you ask when it's going to stop snowing.
It's like...
When it starts raining.
Summertime, the one thing I hate about summer is when it gets way too hot, but it didn't feel like it was way too hot that much this summer. Can we just go back?
It was kind of hot.
Yeah, but right now I'd take it over this.
Hot.
I'd take it over this crap outside right now.
It's keep in mind, Vermont, you have two weather. You have really dry or really wet. That's what you get in Vermont.
Really, really cold. But they say a weak winter is coming this year, so we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Week?
A week.
Like not very strong of a winter.
Like it's supposed to be abnormally warm in our part of the woods.
I heard it was gonna be a brutal winter.
No, not anymore.
That's good.
They showed a map, the weather people, Weather Channel people, because we're supposed to get a weak El Nino, majority of America is going to have abnormally warm winter. But if you live in the southeast, it's going to be abnormally cold. Huh. I'm like, oh, okay. So their winters are usually 70 degrees, so 60 degrees. I'd still take that.
Yeah, right?
Our weak winter is like, oh, it's not going to be 10 degrees. It's just going to be 30.
Oh, so it's not going to be -4 today. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
We got a pretty big episode today, Andy. Pay-per-view, all women's event Evolution happened.
Great.
And we sat down, we watched a movie the first time in a very long time.
Yes, yes.
We'll talk about Ant and the Wasp later on.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Let's do a little wrestling talk, huh?
All right. Well, before Evolution, we did have a couple small little shows to talk about. Monday Night Raw, we have some qualifiers for Crown Jewel. Let's not forget, there's 2 pay-per-views in 1 week they're having this week.
Yes.
So we have Crown Jewel qualifiers. We have Seth Rollins ended up being Drew McIntyre in a count-out by Seth. Seth beats Drew by a count-out. And Dolph Ziggler beat Dean Ambrose to qualify for the World Cup. They didn't just get in like John Cena.
No.
They actually had to work.
So talk about the World Cup for a second. How many qualifying matches, was actually won for a pinfall?
Let's see. So Cena didn't win. Seth didn't win by pinfall. And I'm trying to think.
It was one match that won by pinfall.
Huh.
Isn't that crazy?
That tells you how much I wasn't paying attention.
Because
this whole World Cup thing means nothing.
One of them was Kurt Angle, won by that little weak
the
Rumble thing.
Yep.
Now, the World Cup, and Rey Mysterio won by a count-out too, I think.
I don't know. It tells you how much I pay attention. The World Cup means nothing.
It means nothing, but it is something going on, and I like things go on in WWE.
That's just telling me they couldn't figure out something to do for Crown Jewel.
Yeah, exactly.
We have, on Raw, they announced that they're going to have a women's #1 contender battle royal for Evolution. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty neat. Again, tells me they want to fit all the ladies in, but just can't figure out where to put them. But we like battle royals.
Battle royals are fun.
Are very interesting. Ronda has this promo with the Bellas going on, and this is where Ronda's really stepped up for me. I think her wrestling ability has started to grow. She's started to show me she can start doing more wrestling moves. But it was her promo she had to do. And the promo she did with the Bellas talking about how the only doors they've broken down are the ones into Daniel Bryan and John Cena's bedrooms I was cracking up so hard. I'm just
funny.
Like, mic drop.
It was funny.
And she did such a great job in her promos against the Bellas. Moving on, we found out that Kurt Angle won that little battle royal that we just talked about. Commissioner Corbin is so ticked off, he puts him in a 2-on-1 handicap match against AOP.
Yep.
Comes out in his conquistador outfit. Come to find out, it's not Kurt Angle in there.
Oh.
And what he does is sneaks up on Corbin, and Angle slams him right on the runway.
Yep.
Nice little rivalry that'll probably have a match. My guess is either at Survivor Series or TLC. We'll see.
Yeah, probably.
So, we have and we finish off with the Shield versus the Dogs of War. After all the stuff with all the qualifiers that they had,
I'm getting sick of seeing these guys fight each other every week.
all the time. I got sick of it.
Week.
I got sick of it the first week. But the best part about this is after the match, you have where Braun was ripping on Dolph and Drew for not pulling their weight. Mm-hmm. Drew McIntyre's just sick of it. He's not scared of the monster, and he just Claymore kicks him.
Oh, and that was a brutal one, too.
Well, Drew McIntyre's a big guy.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And so now they're done with Braun. Moving on to the next week, it's very emotional to start the show. Roman Reigns has to give up the Universal title because he announces that for the past 11 years he battled leukemia, and it's back. And what I liked about this was his speech in the beginning where he comes out and says, "Hello, my name is Joe." His real given name, not the stage name Roman Reigns. And it got really real because he talks about how we try to put on the best show for you guys. And as a true wrestling fan, you know it's a show. It's not, oh my God, they really hate each other so much that they're doing this. It's entertainment. That's why it's called WWE. The E stands for the entertainment. But all of a sudden now it got very real and emotional. And so him battling leukemia, we're not going to see Roman Reigns for quite a while. I mean, it's not like snap your fingers and he's back in a month. This is cancer.
Yeah.
He's going to be out for quite some time. So, I mean, thoughts on Roman Reigns out? Are you going to miss Roman Reigns? I am.
This is probably wrong of me, but half of me is like, is this just a gimmick or is it really going to happen?
I don't think it's a gimmick.
I mean,
this was over.
Tough. It's tough because he's been booed a lot. He was booed coming out, and then I was like, hey, I have leukemia, and then everyone is cheering for him.
Because you get a lot of idiot fans out there.
Yeah.
People who, I'm a true wrestling fan. I don't know who your name is, but...
Is he going to come back as Roman Reigns, or is he going to come back as someone else?
He'll come back as Roman Reigns.
You think so?
Yeah. But I don't think this is a gimmick, because, I mean, it was world news.
Yeah, of course it was world news.
I mean, this is like the New York Times did an article and all this other stuff, because... Right. People might rip on wrestling, but there's a lot of people out there who aren't even wrestling fans that know a lot of these people out there.
Definitely.
So, I mean, even ESPN now is covering wrestling. It's starting to become bigger than it was back when you and I were kids.
Yeah.
So, moving on from that, Dolph Ziggler's in the back in the locker room talking to Drew McIntyre. He's very nervous about Braun Strowman being very angry at them. And who wouldn't? Braun is a giant guy.
He's a big boy.
And Drew McIntyre just stands up and he's not nervous. He goes walking out. Dolph's like, what are you going to do? I'm going monster hunting. And I'm just like, we're going to see something big with these two. Because when you have Braun standing there, Drew just stands about the same height as Braun.
Yeah.
So, we have a promo with Paul Heyman. He gets a little emotional with the whole Roman Reigns things because he knows Roman's family. He's grown through the business with Roman's family, so he's
the Samoans. They all related.
Exactly. But then he gets to the promo part talking about how Brock Lesnar is going to beat Braun Strowman, all this stuff. Braun then comes out to confront him, but turns around and just gets a massive Claymore kick again by Drew McIntyre, and he got some speed.
Yeah, he did.
He came hauling down that ramp, and I'm just like, Drew McIntyre's got a pair on him.
Oh, man.
So, it was great seeing it, though.
Psychopath.
I'm enjoying Drew McIntyre.
Oh, yeah.
When he came back into the main stage of wrestling with TNA and looked the way he does now, and he started showing what everyone thought he was going to be when he first came into WWE, it got me excited.
Well, he was kind of scrawny when he first showed up, but now he's looks like
he's working hard. Like he said, when he was younger, he thought the world should have been given to him. Just like Randy Orton did. Randy, in a lot of interviews, talks about when he first came into the business, he thought because he was royalty, basically, in WWE, everything should be handed to him. No, he found out.
Give me everything.
Yeah,
that's not the way it works.
He found out he had to work for it, and that's what has made him become a 13-time world champion.
Yeah.
So we have one of the... Could you say this happens? We have Elias constantly getting interrupted.
And you got to walk me through this because, remember, I'm watching on Hulu, and I don't get all of Raw.
Okay. So what happened was Elias had a match against Apollo Crews.
Okay.
Wins that match. He then goes back up to the apron and back up to the ramp with his guitar. He says, look, people keep interrupting me. I don't care. I'm basically holding the show hostage. I'm going to do my music. Baron Corbin then comes out and tells him he needs to leave. This isn't his show. So he kicks Elias out. Elias goes behind the curtain. Baron starts talking, and then Elias just comes running out, guitar in hand, bam, right to the back. That thing just exploded. And the fans just start cheering for Elias, and he walks out.
All right.
Is this a face, Elias turning face, going after a heel on heel? We don't see it that often.
We don't see it often, but it is possible. I mean, is he still in a feud with Bobby Roode?
Nope.
Is he in a feud at all with anybody?
Nope. It's kind of with the Apollo Crews a little bit here, but it's nothing big.
Yeah, it's probably, it doesn't matter. It could be, I guess.
It's hard to say because he's got that catchphrase where WWE stands for walk with Elias. And the fans get behind that.
Oh, yeah.
But then all of a sudden he'll say something which really ticks everyone off, and it's usually like the sports-related stuff.
Right.
Like the funniest one was where they were in Seattle, and he talks about how they lost their basketball team, the Supersonics. And if you're ever in Seattle, they get really irritated when you talk about them losing their basketball team because they went to Oklahoma. And
so it's the Oklahoma Supersonics?
It's now the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, okay.
But they lost a team, and that's where he kind of dug into them right there.
Why not?
So it's hard to say. Yeah. Sometimes they're cheering for him, sometimes they're not. So I'm maybe neutral.
Well, it's not the first time that, audiences cheer for the heel.
True.
Look at Becky Lynch.
This is true. To finish off, we have the crappy attack I want to talk about there's two attacks. One is you have Trish and Lita doing a promo in the back, and then they get attacked by Mickie James and Alicia Fox. Ugh. What I mean by crappy is
goofy.
Mickie did all the work, and Alicia keeps looking over like, what do I do, Mickie? I don't know what to do. And she's just like, let me throw your head on the ground. Wait, what do I do again?
It's tough for Alicia. She was in the spotlight for a long time. Then they took her out of the spotlight. And I'm sure, off-camera stuff, she doesn't want to step on that wrong stone for WE, and they take her off TV again, So for her, I kind of understand she does need to stop second-guessing herself. But it's her career on the line, and her as an actual person, she probably doesn't want to.
It's not just that. It's not that with just the women wrestlers too. I see it a lot with the men too. It's the part where you pause and you literally look at your other person who does such a better job, and you're trying to figure out
Kane with Undertaker.
Yeah, and you're trying to figure out what do I do? I don't know. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do.
Well, it's either they're one of the or with Kane, for instance, Kane probably knows that Taker takes the front line all the time. So it's Taker does a certain sign, and then Kane goes on. Mm-hmm. So maybe they have some sort of communication that you don't know about that, that person takes the lead, and then I follow their suit.
To finish Raw, we have the Tag Team Championships. Drew and Dolph defending against Seth and Dean.
Not a bad match.
No. Seth and Dean pull out the victory because Braun comes out and chases off Drew.
Yeah.
And Seth and Dean get the win. The big kicker is at the end of the match, Dean Ambrose attacking finally Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. This is where everyone's been waiting for Dean to finally turn. And a lot of when he's attacking Seth, he says, say it again. Earlier in the show, Seth talks about Dean being the lunatic.
Right.
Which all of a sudden Dean takes very lightly. Yeah, personally. And so that's what he's talking about. All I'm thinking is this is kind of like a split personality thing he's probably going to go towards. Like on Raw, he's going to be like, what are you talking about? What happened? We won the championships. And then they're going to be out there and he's going to be attacking them or something. Okay. So
your predictions, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Seth is going to be both tag team champion and IC champion? Or do you think Dean's going to take the title and go?
I see them holding on to the titles because they won't be defending them really. All of a sudden that title's going to be
Gone.
They'll be the champion for a month or two, and then defend them at TLC and lose.
Fade to black kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. So
technically, Seth is a double champion now.
Yeah, technically. SmackDown. This is the best part. SmackDown 1000. I love it.
Did you like the episode?
It was great. Starts off with Truth TV with the McMahons. And it was a funny gimmick because Vince comes out and says, "Dance break," and they just have a dance party. And
Yeah.
stuff. I love the dance breaks. They're just great. They had a lot of video packages highlighting SmackDown throughout the years, which I always love those. I love seeing the highlights from years gone by. We have the reunion of Evolution, and the best part of this was Batista.
the giant sandbag of Batista.
I thought Batista did a great job in his promo.
Oh man, he just sandbagged Triple H so hard.
Are you thinking though that we're gonna get
WrestleMania match? Yeah.
Yeah, because they kind of joked about it, but he literally said, "Triple H, yes, you've done everything except beat me."
Yeah.
And it's just really good.
Right now, technically, Dave Bautista has nothing to do right now.
This is true.
So he could come back to wrestling.
This is true. We have some qualifiers. Miz beats Rusev in like a 10-second match because Aiden English gets involved.
Yeah.
And we have Rey Mysterio returning to face Shinsuke Nakamura. Very good match.
Good match.
Rey Mysterio won. I'm so glad. He beats the U.S. champion. The U.S. champion has not defended that title. He's done it like once in 2 months.
They have one storyline. Shinsuke
Maybe after Crown Jewel, Rey gets a championship title match.
Maybe.
It's possible. Just saying. Then we have to finish off the show. We have the tag team titles on the line, and New Day versus The Bar ends the match. Big Show is a big fan of New Day. They hang out a bunch of times. So when he comes out, they're like, "What's going on?" And he ends up turning heel, helping The Bar win the championships. And he is a new honorary member of The Bar.
Right.
He's the actual Bar.
Yeah, he is The Bar.
So, moving on to the next week, Kofi demands a match against The Bar. Ends up being Kofi versus Big Show. Ends in a no contest. It's just The Bar destroying New Day. And Big Show just choke slamming everyone in New Day. And he sounded like Big Show towards the end of his career, weak choke slams.
Yeah.
He's been off for a while training because he had an injury. He had some powerful choke slams. I'm like, are we going to get the Big Show? Because Big Show as a heel is more wrestling, a better wrestler than when he's a face.
Next week when he turns face again, we'll see what is different, how he wrestles different.
Yeah. We have Rey Mysterio on Miz TV, and the funniest thing on this was Rey talking about, "I'm so upset. I thought this was supposed to be Truth TV."
Yeah, right.
Has a match against The Miz, which was a very, very good match. I don't like The Miz, but his matches against some of these guys
good, right?
are pretty good.
Miz the man.
Ray coming back now is 2-0. So you have Shane McMahon come out, and he's hyping the World Cup and talks about all the great superstars that are in the World Cup. All of a sudden, the audience starts chanting CM Punk, CM Punk, because it just makes me wonder if CM Punk is coming back somehow, because they have these little hints in a bunch of shows. Shane uses one of those hints. He says, "We have the best in the world." CM Punk, throughout his career, used that he is the best in the world promo all the time. He kept always calling himself the best in the world. And now all of a sudden, Shane says that we have the best in the world. And then the second he says that, everyone starts chanting CM Punk.
Right.
What's funny is Shane then goes ahead and says, "No, I don't think he's in the tournament." So, I don't know. I want to see CM Punk come back. I enjoyed watching CM Punk matches.
Yeah.
Will it happen? Who knows? Everyone thinks he will, and he's going to do a part-time thing like Brock, and he's going to have Paul Heyman in his pocket.
It's going to be all down to politics. That's all it's down to. Because right now, if I remember right, the reason why Punk can't come back is because of Triple H.
We'll see. Finish off, we had then Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. Whoop-de-doo. We've seen it.
Yeah, again, over and over.
Yeah, Randy won. So we'll probably get it at Crown Jewel, too.
Yeah, we probably will. But
that is Wrestling Talk before Evolution.
Trying to think anything exciting happened. During NXT, Aleister Black showed back up.
Oh, okay.
Still don't know who attacked him yet.
Yeah, there's this whole thing with Nikki Cross there,
too. The biggest chant is Nikki's got a secret.
Yeah, because she was on the rooftop watching what happened.
Great. This storyline, Nikki Cross and Aleister Black, is just fantastic. It's good stuff. That's the biggest thing that happened in NXT. There's just that one storyline breaking loose. Oh, no, they did actually. It was Johnny Gargano. The last NXT happened.
He's the one who attacked Aleister Black?
Yeah.
So we're turning him heel now?
Yeah, we're turning him heel.
Does that mean we're going to get DIY back together, him and Ciampa, if they're both heel now?
Good call. I don't know.
It was one of my favorite tag teams. DIY was
right?
amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not a big Johnny fan. I mean,
You're a Gargano fan.
What?
You're a Ciampa fan, I mean.
I'm more of a Ciampa fan, and between Aleister Black and Johnny, Aleister Black's going to murder
Oh, yeah,
him.
Aleister Black.
He's going to murder him.
Out of your entire time watching NXT, Aleister Black is your number one.
Oh, yeah.
Even over EC3 now, who doesn't do anything in NXT.
EC3's got a great storyline going on, too, though.
Okay.
So it's doing good.
I have to start watching
Man,
NXT again.
it's good stuff in there. But Evolution, huh?
Yes.
Your first thoughts?
My first thoughts were it was crap.
Okay.
I really didn't enjoy it, but you seem to have enjoyed it.
It wasn't bad. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Was it a basic pay-per-view simple? Yeah, it was a little too simple. There's not a lot of pops going on, not a lot of big stuff going on. But, I mean, there's a lot of stakes on the line during this pay-per-view, you know?
You asked me earlier what was my biggest disappointment with it, basically. Why did I not enjoy it? You asked me earlier. And this is why. It was all the returning veterans in the pay-per-view. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Trish Stratus fan. She's my number one woman wrestler of all time. Same with Lita. She's up there.
Yeah.
The problem is you haven't wrestled for how long? You look like crap.
Oh, yeah. This match, Mickey pushed this match forward.
Yes.
The entire time. You could see Mickey
Mickey had to hold up sometimes.
Just spotting the entire match. Mm-hmm. When Trish went for the Stratus faction, I'm like, wow.
Hold her hand in it.
Hold her hand, lift her up, everything. It was terrible.
Yep. There was even in the
back once, but Mickie James is a true veteran and she's a true wrestler.
Exactly. Like I said, I love when they come back maybe just to do an appearance.
Yeah.
But it's like the whole Undertaker thing. I'm done watching crap. It's just don't tarnish your career. But the problem is you have we talk about all these non-wrestling fans that think they are.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we get to see them again.
It's not worth it.
It's not.
It's not worth it. If you want to bring Trish and Lita back, put them in the 20-woman Royal Rumble. You know,
we'll get to that here in a second too.
But don't put them in a tag match. You know, it just.
And the
it
only
does nothing.
WWE knows they can go ahead and do this and make money off it because hyping some of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But to me, the real fans, it just doesn't look right.
No.
So basically what happened was Trish and Lita were versus Mickie James, and we come to find out it's not Alexa Bliss, it's Alicia Fox. They say that Alicia isn't wrestling because due to an injury.
Concussion, I believe it was.
Okay, well that's
I believe it's a
making me
she
wonder.
She was cleared because she has a concussion.
All I'm thinking is, okay, is this the reason why it got changed to a tag team match? Is because she got hurt. Because you can't have your singles.
I know, right?
So who knows? So it's Alicia Fox.
I'm glad Alexa Bliss showed up, though. It was good that we see her there.
I'm kind of glad, too, they dressed up in their Halloween outfits. They did the Alice in Wonderland thing.
Yep.
But if she's hurt, how come she then gets in the ring and attacks
Did she
Lita?
take a bump?
No, but still, if you're hurt, then don't jump in the ring. Because that's making me think now, is she really hurt?
She was hurt concussion-wise. That's why she didn't take any bumps at all.
Stupid. Trish and Lita obviously got the win. I mean,
this whole match, I called every match correct.
Yep.
Because it was all predictable.
Even the Battle Royal, I had a feeling the winner.
I knew the top three were going to be.
Yeah. So speaking of that, we had the 20-woman Battle Royal for number one contendership. And you have half the field is returning veterans and half the field are today wrestlers. And then you get the Iconics. Thank God they ran their mouth and then everyone just threw them out the second the bell hit.
So dumb.
You want to know what I saw in this too? They can't go over the top rope. They throw them out and one of them kind of just like, let me just drop off, basically.
Yeah.
She didn't go and take a bump off. She kind of just fell off.
And that's the one thing that these women need to do. If they want to act like they can play with the big boys like the men, they need to start hitting that rope. They need to start hitting each other. They need to start falling over the top rope.
I mean, the one I'm talking about, she like didn't even get touched. She's just like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to fall. Let me just drop off the ring.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Then you have basically all of the female wrestlers of today attacking the return.
Yes.
This is why I said, again, I hate the whole returning things happen. Basically, every returning woman got knocked out in like 2 seconds. They didn't do anything in the match. Why bring all these? The only reason you're bringing these people back, obviously, is just for the look and, oh my God, they returned.
That and they probably didn't have enough female wrestlers.
It looked like crap.
Yeah.
The only two that actually did something were Ivory. She competed in it.
Amazing.
And Michelle McCool.
Ivory looked so good.
So we get down to the final 4. It's Tamina, Nia Jax, Michelle McCool, and
Ember Moon.
And I'm rooting for Ember Moon in this.
That's what I was doing.
It comes down to Nia and Ember. They're fighting on the top rope kind of thing, trying to go over. And then this little vixen, Selena Vega, comes out of nowhere.
She was good because I didn't even notice her.
Dumps them over the top rope, but they stand there on the apron and get back in. Thank God she didn't win. Nia all of a sudden picks her up and just throws her over the top rope, and Tamina forgets to catch her.
Yeah.
Vega's head collides with Tamina's head.
Yep.
And it was a hard hit. We'll see what happens with that. Comes down to Ember. I really want Ember to win this, but I had a feeling Nia was probably good. Nia or Tamina was going to win this match. And Nia Jax wins this match. She becomes the number 1 contender. The other person that fell that didn't do anything was Alundra Blaze.
She was in there for a while, but she didn't really do much.
She didn't do anything. They throw her over the top rope, and she's standing there on the apron, and she kind of just jumps down.
She looks so old,
too.
too.
Oh, no, that's right. She fell. She's on her side. She's laying there on the top of the apron, and no one touches her, and she just kind of rolls off the edge.
Yeah.
I'm like, again, make it look good. Don't just, whoops,
Yeah,
that's
she's
right.
getting, what, her high 50s, on 60s?
She's 54, I checked.
Yeah.
She's still racing monster trucks, though. She's racing the Medusa monster truck.
Oh, is she?
Yes.
All right.
I'm just like, moving on, this was to me one of the matches of the night. Tawny Storm versus Io Shirai.
Yeah, the Mae Young Classic.
Exactly.
This was a really good match.
And this is why I like NXT so much, because these wrestlers know they have to fight to get noticed. And you see a great match. And Tawny Storm won this. And
Toni Storm did a great job.
I cannot wait to see her someday on the main roster.
Oh, yeah.
She's 23. It could happen.
She looked good.
Exactly. We have next, whoop-de-doo, 6-woman tag.
This was probably the worst match of the night. I just did not care.
This is how bad the match was. These are my notes. We have Sasha, Bayley, Natalya versus the Riot Squad. Sasha, Bayley, Natalya win. That's my notes. The whole notes for the entire match.
There's not much going on here. I mean, really, the MVP of this match is probably Ruby Riott.
You know,
he looked good.
You know what they're doing in this? It's like when the Shield first debuted and you just get mixed up 6-man tags against the Shield. That's what they're doing with the Riot Squad kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just...
They need to break up the Riot Squad because individually, I bet you they would do pretty good. Mm-hmm. So just right now, that faction isn't doing them any favors.
No, this is what needs to happen. They can keep that faction, but we need a women's tag team division.
Yeah.
Because Ruby then goes for the women's championship, and Liv and Sarah go for the tag titles.
Honestly, I watch Liv Morgan closely. Mm-hmm. She's good.
Oh, she was amazing
she's good
in NXT as a singles competitor. She was amazing.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why they keep doing this faction, not doing anything with them. They're holding them back for anything. Mm-hmm. So it's not really fair to them. But I mean, the Banks, Bayley, and Talia. I used to be behind Sasha Banks all the time. She's not doing anything.
It's because she's face.
She's not doing
anything.
As a
heel, people like her a lot as a heel.
Yeah.
Yep. We have the NXT Women's Championship, Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. I hate, with a passion, Shayna Baszler. Mm-hmm. She is horrible. She may have been a great MMA fighter.
Right.
But she can't do crap in the ring. She goes for elbows and kicks, and she does love taps. If you're supposed to be one of the baddest women on earth, why are you slowing down on your elbows and your kicks?
Yeah.
And that's all she can do. Or the whole match, it's just, let me do submission holds, or let me stomp on your hand and arm. You can't do crap. You can't do a promo. But Triple H in his mind thinks this whole bringing MMA fighters over is a great thing. This is what really ticks me off. This is the match that really grinded my gears. Is then you get the other two MMA fighters that are her friends that are coming over into NXT that get involved in the match. So it's basically a 3-on-1 on Kairi Sane.
Yeah.
Kairi loses to Shayna. And all I'm thinking is then they walk out, and this is the one I hate the most. We're the 4 horsewomen of WWE. Really, because we already have that with Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, and Bayley, which I think's stupid.
Yeah.
You haven't earned that right to say that just because your dad was a 4 horseman. So their thing is, we're the 4 horsewomen of MMA wrestlers coming over to WWE. 2 of you haven't done anything yet.
Come up with a new name.
Ronda's been in the business, because she's one of them, for less than half a year.
Yeah.
And is finally starting to look decent. Shayna Baszler can't freaking do anything. And then you get 2 that are in the audience that basically just pulled Kairi Sane
never even heard of
off to the side and haven't done anything.
Right.
But we're the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
We're the 4 horsewomen. Just like the others that actually wrestle who call themselves, which I still hate. You haven't done anything. What do you do? I'm a 7-time women's champion. You win it and then you lose it the next month.
Right.
That don't mean crap. Don't trademark and steal someone. 4 guys who are Hall of Famers, their trademark.
Yeah.
They actually worked for it.
Of course they did.
Just because it's the women's revolution doesn't mean everyone's so great.
I mean, even though Kairi Sane lost, she did still look really good in the match.
Yeah.
I like her. I think she's good.
So in the back, they showed what happened after off cameras, and she comes screaming at Shayna and her 2 lackeys, and they had to hold Kairi Sane back. And you get Shayna, again, this is why I hate Shayna, talking about how when Kairi beat her at TakeOver, Kairi didn't beat me, I lost the match.
I mean,
That's the same thing.
It's the same thing, yeah.
A loss is a loss. Just
her promos are terrible.
Because she's an idiot.
Her promos are terrible. I'll give you that.
Looks like a giant freaking gorilla, too, when she wrestles. Blood's boiling over that.
How about Becky and Charlotte?
This was the match that needed to be. This was the other match, which probably was the match of the night between that and the Mae Young Classic.
Right.
But this isn't the main event. You're hyping the first time ever. It's not the first time ever because Impact did it between Gail Kim and I forget the other chick's name, but they had an amazing match. It's the first time in WWE.
Gail Kim. Any match Gail Kim.
This was the first time in WWE. It was actually really good. One of my highlights was when Becky buries Charlotte with chairs, and Charlotte gets up and just has this like dead look on her face, and it just made Becky white.
So the only thing I hate about that spot was how softly Becky put the chairs on her.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you're putting folding chairs, but you're placing them on nice and softly.
Exactly.
Why are you doing that?
I didn't care for that, but it was just the reaction part.
Yeah.
We had some tables used in this match. Charlotte goes for the moonsault, and this is the problem with Charlotte. She always overhits it.
Every time.
But because she's so tall, that's the problem. And so she hits Becky on the edge of the table, and the table doesn't break. That's the worst type of landing is when you can't break the table because it's a much harder
It was
hit.
bad.
She then goes back up and does a senton and goes through the table.
Yep.
A lot of ladders were used in this. The chairs, like the Michael Cole said, it looks like TLC's come early.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad of a match. There's a couple things that I'll talk about after Evolution that were not just in this match but in others. But it finishes, the way the match finished was very good. You have a table set up on the outside, and Becky's on top of it, and Charlotte's going to go for another moonsault. So she's going to jump off the top rope, fall out of the ring, and onto the floor.
Right.
Becky jumps up and power bombs her off the top rope through a table that's laying on the floor.
Which sounded really hard, too.
Yeah.
That was a hard fall.
That was actually a really good way to end the match. These two, I give them props. For a last woman standing match, they definitely hitting each other with the chairs and the kendo sticks. They did a really good job. So
It's a good match.
This shows, though, why I said I don't mind watching the women do matches like this if you have the right women.
Yep.
If this was like Charlotte versus Carmella,
It wouldn't have worked.
No.
It wouldn't have worked.
But Becky and Charlotte are two of the best women on the roster right now.
Yeah.
So, finishing off Evolution, we have Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella.
Or as the internet is calling it, the UFC versus Bellator.
This just shows me.
Come on, that's funny.
Nikki talked about in her promos about how she's the greatest diva. She's using the diva word. I thought we got rid of that word.
Oh, they're trying to bring it back. They're trying to bring it back.
And it showed me, okay, yep, the diva era, no one could wrestle. Again, your thing. You liked Alicia Fox. You thought she was the best back then, and I thought Nikki was. And now you watch them wrestle against
reversed, right?
real wrestlers, and you're like, wow, you guys were crap.
Yeah.
Nikki did nothing this entire match. Nothing. I'm just like, oh my God. I was really hoping Ronda was going to finish it off with the armbar right in the beginning of the match.
I liked this match because, I saw Ronda actually take real bumps.
Ronda took some massive head
And I was
bumps
like,
into the
wow,
pole.
she is actually taking this serious. I like this. So, that's another notch that I'm jumping on the wagon for Ronda.
Oh, yeah. She's one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. So
That means Jack.
She can take a hit. Ronda wins this match. To finish off Evolution, another one thing I was most disappointed was we didn't get an introduction to the women's tag team division.
No.
Everyone was hyping this up.
Top of this whole sketch, I told you there was no surprise, nothing to be like, oh man, this is awesome. It's just it was a basic card.
Now to get to the biggest blunder of the night. What do you think's the biggest blunder of the night? Biggest mistake.
The biggest mistake of the night?
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
I don't know. Well, what's it to you?
The reffing in all the matches. You have a ref going for the 3 count and literally stops after 2.
Oh.
And they showed the camera angle.
Yeah.
And then Alicia Fox jumps into the ring and breaks up the pin count.
Oh, yeah.
After the ref literally stops.
Did you see Mickey said break it up?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
was that match.
I'm like, ref, literally, the camera's right on you, and he goes 1, 2, and then just keeps his arm from doing anything.
Yep.
And then about 5 seconds later, Alicia jumps into the ring and breaks up the count.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd understand and even the announcers are talking about it.
Yeah.
Then you have Becky and
By that point in time, Mickey should have just kicked out.
Then you have Becky and Charlotte in their last woman standing match. You have Charlotte using the ladder into the figure 8 onto Becky. Becky's trying to crawl to a chair to hit then Charlotte and break the hold. Becky can't drag herself with Charlotte in the ladder.
Yeah.
The ref then kind of walks up to the chair, and the camera's right on his foot, and he kicks it.
I didn't even see
He
that.
kicks the chair.
I didn't even see
The
that.
camera is right on the ref, too. It's like you could have at least changed the camera scene to something else.
Yeah, right.
And you just see this ref kick a chair right to Becky, and she grabs it and then hits Charlotte. So many referee blunders in this entire pay-per-view.
That's funny.
I'm just like, oh my God.
That's pretty funny.
It's just, this is why I didn't really care for the pay-per-view. Hopefully Crown Jewel is better.
It's not going to be.
Probably not. And then we have a crappy Survivor Series after that. We got to wait till December to get TLC. And then the Royal Rumble after that. So that was the biggest blunder I thought of the night.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Well, that's it for Wrestling Talk. Let's do a quick touch-up on Flairverse, huh?
Yes. Flash right now is becoming is the #1 show for me right now.
Okay.
Very good. I love the whole things with Nora and everything. The whole Cicada villain is very good. I like that they brought another Wells back into the fray, Sherlock Wells. The episode with, what is it? The first episode really wasn't anything great. It was basically you learn Cicada can take your powers away, and you have Ralph and Caitlin trying to help Cisco get over Gypsy.
Yep.
They want to cut his hair, and he's like, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's funny.
You have then in the next episode where they bring Sherlock Wells in, and he's helped 37 Earths discover who Cicada is, so he doesn't really detect in this episode. He's just like, oh yeah, it's this person. Come to find out it's not, because Nora has changed the timeline, and Cicada has now showed up years early, and it's not even the same person. He's trying to go after Cisco, Vibe. He doesn't know it's Cisco, he just knows it's Vibe.
Right.
And he uses, what's his name? the police guy.
Joe?
Yeah, he uses Joe to go after Vibe. And what was great was Nora planning Vibe's death in this episode. They fake his death.
Yep.
And but you find out that Sincada is just, you find out his identity and about his kid being in a coma and all this stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
Now, this weapon, we need to talk about the weapon he uses.
The lightning
It
bolt.
looks like a Flash's lightning bolt.
So I've read up on the character of Sincada. In the future, Sincada can steal the powers and all that stuff. He believes himself to be kind of like a god, basically.
Okay.
And he just goes on trying to kill metahumans and stealing their power.
It's weird that it looks like a lightning bolt, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's more backstory to it with him involved with Flash, but there's not much backstory.
Okay.
It's very hard trying to find info on Sincada. He's one of those characters where the CW is taking one of the characters that's not a big name character,
But making it a big name.
it a big name
Nice.
character.
That's what we like about CW.
Yeah. So it's not like your traditionals.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I like with Marvel doing with Spider-Man, where we're not getting the traditional villains. We got Vulture, and now in the second one we're going to get Mysterio.
Right.
So, moving on to Arrow. It's Oliver. 5 months have passed for Oliver in jail, and you have Felicity and William hiding in witness protection. But Diaz ends up finding out where they are, so they come back to Star City. And inside prison, Oliver can't do anything to save his family. But he finds out that some of the prison guards, which I love seeing Cody Rhodes again.
Oh, man.
in
Yeah, it's
this.
great.
He's going to work with them to get info, but they want him to get rid of one of the guards who's really hard on everybody.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to kill him like all of them want. So Oliver plans that he's going to fake getting stabbed by the cop, so he stabs himself.
He's going to get stabbed.
Yeah, he still stabs himself. But it was
But blame it on the security guard.
it was just a great Arrow kind of thing,
Oh, yeah.
sneaking it by. We also have on the outside, you have them going after Diaz with Felicity and Diggle fighting over what they should do with Diaz. And it's this mysterious Archer. Who is this new Green Arrow that's out there doing the vigilante? Can't wait to find out who that is. My
Predictions?
Roy.
You think it's Rory?
I'm going Roy.
I am too.
Just
Because
because
we have that Flash.
I was just about to
forward.
say, I am loving the flashbacks were awesome on
Yeah.
Leandro. The flash forward is
cool, yeah.
I was when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, so this is a flashback, but I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize that was Roy because he looks so much different with the facial hair and everything. And come to find out, it's set like 20 years in the future. Roy's living on Leonru, and William shows up. And the little rock that we see Felicity give William as a child is actually a clue.
tracking beacon, yeah.
Tracking beacon. They dig up Oliver's gear and his bow, and Roy says, I know what we need to do. And they head back to Star City. So we'll see. I'm glad.
Flash forwards are cool.
Yeah, I'm glad Roy's back. He's back full time. He's not doing the part time thing. So I like Roy Harper as the character and all that. Moving on to Legends. Again, it's set 5. They like this 5-month thing because
Why
Oliver's
not?
been in jail.
Yeah.
Because all these timelines are on the same thing.
They have to
It's
do
all
that. They
happening
have
at
to
the
do
same
that.
time. The team has now, all the anachronisms are fixed. They fixed everything. And Constantine's prediction of bad things to come, mythical things, nothing's happened. All of a sudden, in 1969 Woodstock, there's a unicorn
The killer unicorn.
eating people's hearts, and all these hippies think they're tripping balls, basically. I mean, it is 1969 Woodstock. No, it's actually there. The legends show up, and they
I love how they find out, though, because you have Mick and Nate just bored out of their minds.
Break
and
into
Mick's
Nate.
like, hey, you want to go rob some people?
Let's break into my dad's house.
And the dad's like, yeah, that terrible thing happened in 1969, the Woodstock,
Unicorn and all
it's like the
massacre.
Woodstock Massacre, yeah. And Nate's like, we got to go.
Yeah. Then you have Ray and Zari. They think it's Nora because she's now escaped custody from the Time Bureau using the time stone that Ray gave her. So he feels bad about that, but Ray also loves Nora. And then you have, obviously, Sarah just going to fix the anachronism.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the whole Sarah-Ava living together thing? Do we like seeing Sarah trying to be civilized?
I think it's for a good character development.
Yep.
You know, because I don't mind Sarah's character at all, but she did need more development, and I think this is going to be good for her character.
Yeah.
For more development.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
So they use Constantine to help bring this unicorn back to the depths of hell kind of thing. And I love at the end how it kind of jumps back out and grabs Gary right in the chest and almost gets his heart. It
rips his nipple off.
It took his nipple. And I think
John Constantine's like, keep it missing. It's a good battle wound.
One of them says like, I'll end up going down there, so I'll probably see it down there one of these days.
I'll bring it back to you.
What's funny is because they use Gary as the virgin because they needed a virgin sacrifice. And Gary's like, well, what about that time? And Constantine's like, no, that doesn't count. It's just, Legends is great.
I love Legends.
Really quick in Supergirl, I know you don't watch much of it.
Keep it up. You're keeping me
we have the, what is it? We find out that the president's an alien and she ends up stepping down to help try to get the protesters off their backs and everything. Mercy Graves, because remember she didn't get captured by Supergirl, her brother did. She hacks into L-Corp and breaks into the image enhancers. So all these aliens who are hiding, all of a sudden in public, now everyone can see them. And they start getting attacked by people.
Okay.
One of them being Brainiac 5. It's great. He's at a pizza joint getting pizzas for the DEO. And the pizza owner loves him. He loves Brainiac coming in all the time and all this. All of a sudden his image enhancers go off. And the guy and his workers go ahead and attack Brainiac with bats. And so they got to stop that. There's a fight that breaks out between Mercy and Lena. Lena has now taken Lex's ectoskeleton and kind of made it for her.
Okay.
So it makes me wonder, is she going to turn into Lex somehow? And what's funny is Kara is with her when they're doing the security hits because Mercy's breaking into L-Corp. And Kara keeps trying to say, what? I'm so scared. Can I just stay here? Because she wants to get away from Lena so she can become Supergirl. And Lena's like, no, you got to stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. And it's just, finally she gets away and helps save the day. But at the end of the episode, we see Mercy escapes. And actually, she gets captured. But one of the DEO agents breaks her and her brother Otis out of their cells. And they steal the machine that Lena built that put the lead in the atmosphere to get rid of the Daxamites. Okay. And it ends with them having a little vial of kryptonite. And them and Agent Liberty and all of them put it in the device and shoot kryptonite up into the atmosphere.
Oh.
As Supergirl's flying. All of a sudden, the episode just ends with her falling to her death. Because if she hits the ground, she's like normal now because she's got kryptonite in her. And that's how the episode ends. The last episode that happened last night is basically shows you the backstory of how Agent Liberty turned from being a good guy into hating the aliens. And it's set 2 years in the past, and you just see all these battles breaking out between aliens and Supergirl and everything. And he had no prejudice against aliens, but then when things start happening to him and his family, where he gets stabbed by one of them, his father loses his business, then his father dies because of the Daxamite attack. They lose their house.
Right.
John's fighting a Daxamite, and the Daxamite shoots the house, and John takes the Daxamite away and says, "You're saved now," but their house starts burning to the ground. That's how he becomes Agent Liberty. And the show ends showing Kara falling back to present, falling to her death, John catching her right before she hits the ground, and they can't get rid of the kryptonite. It's already inside her.
Yep.
And they don't know how to get rid of it in the atmosphere. So Lena invented a suit that Supergirl goes into, which is keeping the kryptonite away from her.
Right.
But she has to live in this suit the rest of her life until they can figure out how to get rid of the kryptonite. So we'll see how it goes. I'm really enjoying it.
Good.
I know, like you said, one of the things you hate is how it's turning into is all the politics stuff.
Yeah. The real life politics stuff put into this show. It's a superhero show. Keep it about superheroes.
Exactly. That's how
you don't need to. No one gives.
I just want to know how Superman's going to show back up on Earth. He's on Argo City.
Oh, yeah.
Is he gonna? What happened on Earth? All of a sudden comes in the atmosphere. Oh, I'm dead.
I am dead.
So we'll see. Because we're supposed to get Superman and Lois Lane in the crossover episodes, which happen this December.
Yes.
They're not that far away.
I've seen a lot of good pictures so far of the show. So.
And Flash is only like, I think, 3 episodes away from episode 100.
Oh, wow.
So, yes.
Very cool.
There is Flareverse. I have not caught up on Black Lightning.
All right, let's get back to Lightning. Usually we have Anime Corner and our trailer for the week. We're going to skip it because we're running so low on time.
All right, we'll save it for next time.
But we're going to jump onto the box office here right now, though, all right?
All right. I got number 3, Johnny English Strikes Again.
Okay.
Number 2, Hunter Killer. And number 1 has to be Halloween. It's, I think, the biggest movie right now.
All right. Number 3, Venom.
Still.
10 million.
Still, wow.
Yeah. Number 2, A Star Is Born. Wow. 14 million.
I'm surprised.
What do you know about this movie? Anything?
It's just, it stars Lady Gaga and, what's his face who plays Rocket Raccoon?
Bradley Cooper.
Yes. And it's basically Bradley Cooper's character is a country singer, I believe. His career's starting to go down the road. And then he finds Lady Gaga's character and he helps bring her career to what it is. And it's a love story.
Yeah. Apparently, it's actually a Bradley Cooper passion project because he helped write it and directed it.
I'm just surprised that those two, Venom and that, are still there because before they were really low when they first came out. That was the problem.
Yeah.
So.
And then Halloween's number 1, 32 mil.
That's an obvious.
So from 32 mil to 14 mil, it's a big get.
What will be exciting is come the end of November, all of a sudden there's a bunch of big movies that come out. Creed 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and then in December you have like Mary Poppins Returns.
That's when the box office here really gets exciting.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Any TV chat you want to quickly mention?
Yes. Unfortunately, for if anyone's living under a rock, next week on November 4th will be Rick Grimes' final episode. Andrew Lincoln's final episode on The Walking Dead. Brings a tear to my eye. So yeah, if you're living under a rock.
How do you think he's going to disappear?
I don't know.
Get eaten, get
There's
killed,
a lot
or
of
just
people,
walk away in the
it's
sunset?
50-50. Some people think he's going to get killed. Some people think he's just going to walk away to help save somebody. I just don't know.
What do you think?
I think they're going to kill him off.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be a zombie attack, but I think somehow. But I haven't watched last week's episode, so I don't know.
He gets killed, introduces a new big bad villain for the next season?
What's funny is he did an interview where he kind of joked about how he thinks the show should end, where he's fighting off zombies and he gets bit, but he doesn't die, and he finds out, my blood is the cure. Screw you, zombies, he said. And he just kills off all the zombies. I'm like, I'd watch that way end. But my other thing in TV talk is I'm kind of intrigued. You're a huge fan of American Ninja Warrior.
Yes.
I've watched bits and pieces, and I'm amazed watching the show. And they now have the kid version of American Ninja Warrior.
Oh, that's cool.
This is pretty interesting to just see. What's interesting with TV is you have all these shows with adults doing it, and then they introduce the kid versions. There's a lot of cooking shows where I'm just astonished on how well these kids can cook and stuff.
Yeah.
And now you got an athletic thing like this. It amazes me that what some of these kids can do.
Right. So they have American Ninja Warrior. Netflix has their own little competition show like this called Beast Warrior, where they bring 2 contestants from a lot of the different countries around the world to all compete against the Beast. You know, it's an obstacle course that's shaped like a giant monster. This season, the commentator for Beastmaster for the United States is CM Punk.
Wow.
Yeah.
But at least he's got something to do.
Yeah, so Punk is doing something right now.
Yeah. There was one other thing I wanted to say, and I couldn't think. Oh, Netflix. When you said Netflix, it reminded me. Have you watched the new Sabrina the Teenage Witch kind of thing yet?
Not yet. I will get to it.
Before we end here, thoughts on this more horror version of Sabrina?
I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah?
I can't wait to watch it.
It
should be good. It should be good.
I'm kind of intrigued.
I want to see the updated Charmed show, too.
Yeah, I've seen trailers of it. I also wanted to mention, we can talk about it more next time, but the cancellation back-to-back weeks of Iron Fist and Luke Cage.
It's now a gimmick.
Is this the end of Marvel on Netflix? Because fans are nervous that Jessica Jones is next.
Or that better not be next. Daredevil should be next. Or is this a gimmick that they cancel Luke Cage, they cancel Iron Fist, new show, Heroes for Hire.
There's been a lot of talk about it.
I know.
They've had like newspaper articles and stuff.
You think about it, those two shows on their own wasn't all that exciting.
There was like there's fan art basically on the internet where it's like a newspaper article in the classified section, and it has their two faces, and it says Heroes for Hire basically.
That should be the next Netflix show.
Yeah. What was the other thing I wanted to say? I can't think because we're so off topic. Anything else you want to add about wrestling? Because we did this whole show about wrestling talk, about the upcoming Crown Jewel. Thoughts and predictions on the Universal title?
Here's what I want. I want them to keep it vacant.
I was going to say, because...
Keep it vacant for a while. Let's do that. Not just put someone else champion right away.
Are we nervous Brock's going to win it again?
Yes, of course we are.
Because my thought was Roman was going to win.
Yeah.
Here's my thought. With this whole feud between Braun and Drew gets put into that match and wins the Universal title.
I'd be
Drew
okay.
McIntyre.
I'd be okay with that, but I do want them to keep it vacant.
Thoughts on because it's this weekend, so I wanted to get quick thoughts. Who wins the World Cup?
Cena.
Are you just rooting for Miz?
It's Cena.
It's Cena?
Cena's going to win it, but yeah, I want Miz to win. But they're going to give it to Cena.
Okay. And then we had...
Because he's too young to be inducted into the Hall of Fame quite yet, so they got to honor him somehow. Let's give him the world title.
Yeah. To finish up, one other thing. I thought about this the other day. Where are the Bludgeon Brothers all of a sudden in the tag team division?
Where's the B team?
True. Where's everybody?
No, there's a lot of missing tag teams right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to finish off with Evolution, it was a crappy pay-per-view, but hopefully, I'm hoping they just ran out of time and they couldn't introduce the women's tag team division because they need it. So I'm fingers crossed on Raw, Stephanie comes out, we got tag team titles.
Maybe.
So that's how we're going to end the show today.
All right.
Okay? That's my hope.
So we're going to talk about Ant-Man and Wasp next episode.
Yeah, we're just running out of time, I think.
It's been a big episode. We got a lot to talk about.
So look forward to that, everyone, on the next show. Ant-Man versus Wasp. We'll finally get to talk about it. So excited. It was actually a really good movie. So...
happy Halloween, everybody, though, huh?
Happy Halloween. Hopefully you don't get wet out there. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Legends and Nerds. Don't forget, follow us on the Twitter at TrillinMan. Like our Facebook page that I never keep up on, and subscribe to our YouTube page that I will be taking down here in the near future to put up our new one.
Hopefully, huh?
Yeah, so like we said, next time we'll talk more about Ant-Man and the Wasp. We'll get to the trailer of the week, anime of the week.
Yes.
And talk a little bit more about what's going to happen.
It's a good anime, man. I'm telling you, you're going to like this one. You're going to like this one.
And we'll see what happens with Flareverse coming up. Flash is looking awesome.
Yes,
Don't forget, stay nerdy.